So for today, we're going to be looking at the Jade Filament armor set. So this is an armor set that was introduced last season. So traditionally, how Bungie has done these type of armor sets is they'll wait a season and then the next season they'll reintroduce the armor. Traditionally, that's what they've done. Now I say that in like quotations almost because we still haven't gotten a few armor sets. Specifically, we still haven't gotten the Galahorn armor, and that came out a while ago. So unfortunately, this video should have really came out at the time this armor came out, but to be fair, last season was kind of dull, so that's why it took me a long time to actually not only get this armor but to review it as well. So I do apologize if this video kind of sucks because the armor's not out, but I still want to do it just in case like the armor comes back next season or this season, you might never know. And then you guys have like someone to, or like not a guide, but you guys have like, oh, how does it shader? Some of the quirks that I've noticed here and there. So that's what this video is for. So again, apologies, but if you guys like the video, like, comment, subscribe really does help because a huge portion of people are actually not subscribed. So if you can do me a favor, like, comment, sub, hit the bell notification because that also does help. Other than that, let's get into it. So to start off, we're going to be starting with the Hunters. Now, like I said, became available during episode Revenant during Act 2, if I remember correctly. I could be wrong about that. It could probably be Act 3, but definitely let me know in the comments below. And there I say should be available in the archives. Like I said, should be next season. If not, we just have to wait and see. But I don't see them not putting this up as fast as they can, especially since we're getting the the stasis armor this season, I think. So it would just be weird if they didn't post this even though the stasis one would be up. So I don't know, we'll see. But for the Hunters, man, let me tell you guys, this was a polarizing armor set for me. So initially when I saw the armor, I was already disappointed because I knew the green strands was not going to change color. I was correct. The green strands do not change color. Now some people might say, oh well, it's strand related. That makes sense. Fair. And it also makes sense considering the other armor sets from the subclass video, like not subclass videos, but these subclass armor sets, specifically like the Void, Arc, and Solar sets. They don't change color as well. So the Solar one will always have fire, the Arc one will always have electricity, and the Void one will always have that like Void hologram things that are each class has. So that's fair. I still don't like it though. Like I can still hate that shit. That being said, for the actual pieces, boots are super cool, arms are pretty cool, the helmet I think is amazing, I think the cloak is really cool, I think the chest piece is the only piece where I'm like, definitely boring. This is definitely the most boring piece from the whole set. Not bad, mind you, it just doesn't excite me as like, for example, the arms. I think the arms are so cool. It's like the example sets that I made, absolutely fucking magnificent, dog. Like I absolutely adore them. So yeah, also cool thing is from what I see, no differences from the male to female. That being said, we should take a look at the shader because that's where the differences usually are. And for that, really no difference here. I'm not seeing any color that I'm like really annoyed about, aside from the fact that like we have a lot of brown in there, which for Ancient Wisdom would be the off color if I remember correctly, because the blue is the main color. I could be wrong about that. Let's go to Byzantine Gold, and yeah, I don't think I'm wrong about that. That being said, yeah, shader's fine. It's just, again, you're gonna have to like really mix and match a lot of pieces, or you can use two pieces. That's what I ended up doing for a lot of the sets. There was just like, I'm just gonna use like the boots and arms, for example. And that set specifically, my fucking god, it came out so cool. Like it's actually part of one of my armor sets now. So yeah, just because it doesn't shader well, specifically the strands don't shader at all, it's still a good armor set. It's just you have to work around it, which can be said for so many armor pieces, which pisses me off. But overall, not a bad set. Let me know what y'all think. As for the next set, we're gonna be looking at the Titans. Now, I really want to say that I think the Titans lost out for this one. And it's the fact that like, I think it's the weakest one. I think the helmet's decent. The chest piece, absolutely terrible. Boots, I think are not the worst thing in the world, but it's not that much better. Like the chest piece, definitely the last piece I would ever use. The boots are right after that. It's just not that good in my opinion. Like it kind of looks boring. The arms, amazing. And the mark, unfortunately, is kind of dumb. So you guys probably already saw it, but the bond, or not bond, the mark for the males, actually the cloth does not show up, but for the females, it actually does show up. So that's kind of annoying because I like either or. And this is what I mean when Bungie really should give us the option to turn it off, because without the mark or without the like cloth thing, it actually looks really cool. With the mark, it still looks really cool. So like imagine us changing like, oh, no cloth there, or the cloth is like tucked into the belt. I think that would be so cool, but that's a wish that will never be granted. But let's get on to the shadering. Shadering wise, it's the same thing as the hunters. Nothing too crazy here. The cool thing is the boots are taking the main color for the pants, so that's really cool. Other than that, I don't really care for this set, aside from the arms and the helmet. Like I think the helmet is genuinely really cool. The helmet and the arms I think are the only cool pieces. Everything else I just think is not that great. The mark, mind you, is cool. I just wish we had the option to change it, because we clearly see it right here, and it's cool because I definitely like the Titans, or specifically the male Titans, because it has no mark and it is just basically a belt, which is really cool. So I don't know, kind of bugs me that we don't have that option, but aside from that bug, I think the set's pretty cool. Even though I talk mad shit about it, the weird thing I just noticed is, and this could be just the way my character looks in the screen, but the chest piece, specifically the glow on the chest piece, looks like it's brighter on the males than it is on the females. I could be wrong. Once I'm editing this, I'll just notice it, and I could probably say, no, it's not, I'm just blind. But from what I see, it kind of looks like it's brighter than it really is. So that is pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about the Titans. And then Warlocks, I definitely think you guys are in second place, if not first place, actually. Not saying that Hunters is bad by any means. I think it's really, really cool. It's just the fact that like no piece from this set is bad in my opinion. Like all of them are really cool, aside from like maybe the bond, but at this point Warlocks just expect a shitty bond, and even then it's not the worst thing in the world. I really do wish, and this is just a small nitpick, but I do wish that the arms were symmetrical, in the sense that I wish the strand piece was symmetrical, because it's not. The left side, the strand goes way higher than the actual right side, which makes sense because then they would be blocking the bond. But I do think if you combine the bond with those arms, it should have given you that like that piece on the left side as well. I think that would have been cool, because then it could have changed how the bond works with or without that same set, which I think would have been cool. Helmet I think is super dope. Chest piece I think is amazing, and then the boots I think are pretty decent as well. Like honestly, I would probably say the Hunters and Warlocks are probably even, just because yeah, I think the chest piece was the only thing where I was like, this is kind of boring for the Hunters. And then for the Warlocks, it's honestly just like the boots are kind of like whatevers. Like they're not the worst thing in the world, but like it's not like, oh my god, it's like, oh, this is cool. And then the bond is very much like, oh, whatever's done. So yeah, that's pretty much it for that. As for shadering, it's the same thing as everyone else, honestly, like nothing too crazy. You will see that the shoulder pads take like a weird color when it comes to Ancient Wisdom, but other than that, nothing too crazy. Definitely I like what I see, so that's really, really cool. Definitely going to be combining it with like Ancient Wisdom, Gambit Jade Stone shaders that have that green glow. Just be aware that there's some shaders that take glows really, really brightly. So specifically like Gambit Jade Stone, that green is bright as fuck. So you just have to be aware of that. But there's other shaders, like Lucid is a good shader if you want to combine it with this set, because Lucid is basically like that color. So let me know what you guys think. Again, I apologize, this video is way late. This video should have came out like 2 weeks after this armor should have came out, because that's usually how fast I can do these. I would make them faster, but it's just with me working full time, I just can't do it, because by the time I get home, I barely have time to work on stuff. So let me know what you guys think. I appreciate y'all coming to this point. Be safe. I will see you guys later.